No, guys, it's so frustrating to watch Chiefs play, man. It's so frustrating. And the reason why it's so frustrating is that it feels like Chiefs is doing everything in their power to not do the obvious basic thing to go and win games. It's like we're too smart for our own goods because we're trying to do very higher grade things. Number one, you're playing versus a Magesi team that is coached by Owen Tegama, a guy that loves man marking. And to beat man marking, you either have to play balls in behind or in general, pace up the game that you're playing so that you can open up the spaces left by people following other people. But then you decide to play a boranga. You decide to hold the ball. Guys, Magesi had 4 people in attacking places. So they had a striker and 3 behind them. Really high. They were really high trying to catch Chiefs up. Which means that there was a huge space in the middle. But because for some reason the Chiefs decided that today was possession day, they kept holding the ball and becoming less and less dangerous and not playing into those spaces. That's number one. Number two of the answers that are right there in front of you, but yet you try and make it hard for yourself. Umfundo is not a 10. Umfundo is confident, he wants the ball, he calls for the ball, he wants to play it, but that does not mean that you put him in the 10 because he does not have that skill set to be the person that orchestrates what happens in the middle. He plays on the wing, he's got an incredibly great left foot that always gives us final ball, whether it's a cross, whether it's a ball in, whether it's a shot. And that would work incredibly well if you are going to play with Chivavairo, who, when he was at Marmok Islands, was so good at playing on the last line. Think about the chances that he got today. Playing on the last line, playing with the defenders, drop shoulder, shoot, turn in the box, in line with the defender, turn in the box, shoot it wherever he shot it. So you've got a guy who can cross a ball, mean ball, and then you've got a guy who thrives inside the box. But yet, winger wako udlalu number 10, your striker is playing on the wing. Guys, I think that's what frustrates me more than anything about Chiefs. It's got nothing to do with the results. It's got nothing to do with the general play. It's that, guys, answer some questions. There's a question put in front of you. What is your answer? And Coach Nabi keeps doing these things where he's trying so hard to force this higher grade play. I think I've figured out Coach Nabi. I think Coach Nabi is a coach that's used to playing with players that make their own decisions. Real Madrid is on in the background right now. That's Carlo Ancelotti. I don't tell them what to do in attack, but I tell them what to do in defending. I think Coach Nabi has given these players too much freedom. And I think he thinks that these are the type of players that can do dual roles. Guys, Umart, Plom are both 8s, not 6s. And because they're both 8s, there's times where they all run up. I understand, Lilepo's running up, Modi's running up, Chivavairo's running up, Villagazi's running up, Frosla is inverting and almost making striker runs. Your Mart and Blom are pushed up. What do you think is going to happen? How many times did Magesi come back and almost catch us? That first half was so bad. One, because of what I'm telling you now, the structure, the identity, none of that was there. But then number two, they don't even play with some character. Like, I feel like the 10 years that we've been trophyless is not registering for anybody at that club. At least show us that you want something. At least show us that you're there for a reason. Magesi did not come to that game to play anything, especially in that first half. They came to frustrate. 4 up front to try win the ball back up high, and then everybody else back so that we can stop these guys from having space. And Chipezezed. It was only in the second half when things happened. And I don't believe that the second half things happened because of the changes that Nabi made. I think things happened in the second half because Magesi decided that no, we are going to abandon that shape, And we're going to push more people forward because we feel like we can get this Chiefs team. And that just so happened to open up the spaces that Chiefs needed to take advantage of what was happening. Okay, so I know I stopped the video a lot, and a lot of you are wondering, why are you asking for money? So I wanted to show you. I asked for money because I want to do more of this. Huh? But the truth of the matter is that it took over an hour in order just to render that shot. And it takes even longer when I'm doing my normal content because, guys, here's the unsung hero of the channel. And unfortunately, Shem, but the screen is broken. I have to use a second screen and the performance is not up to it. So I'd really love to upgrade things like that. And when you look over here, this is what the setup looks like. Rehenga di patlo and rehenga di green screen, which is a reality of being a South African content creator. Also, this is what people think is my studio. It's actually my house. So if you still don't know that I'm doing all of this from my home, then I don't know. But that is essentially what I want to do. More of these cool things. But I need you guys to please help me out by donating 50 Rand or more into this account. You know, we're fighting for multi-choice. And for multi-choice, but there is subscription models all over the place. And I'd love to give the biggest quality while also being able to pay my rent and do things like that. That is where your money is going. And I promise to give you only the best content that I can if you do throw something in. So I just wanted to show you guys what I want to do with your money. I want to take this South African football and fulfill my dream of taking it into the future. But thank you guys so much. Remember, this is the bank account that you deposit into. Get back into the video. Magesi got a little bit too overconfident in the second half. If you could see, they were holding the ball quite a bit, but instead of progressing the ball, they were holding it in places that were dangerous. The exact place where I think Abrams is it, that where he lost the ball, then became a transition where you get taken advantage of. And only then does Chiefs start waking up and start to play the faster football that you needed to have played versus Magesi in the first half, instead of making this game a knife edge game. Like, I feel like Chiefs, man, just makes me so angry because they don't do it basic, man. And these players are not bad players. I'm not one of those people that looks down on the players. I just feel like every day they're asked to do these hard things. And if I was to give Coach Nabi some advice, keep it simple. Play to their strengths. You've only got 10 games in the league. Then you can go out and buy whatever player you want to buy. You can go and get whoever you want to get. You can offload whoever you want to offload. But we cannot write it off right now. Make it work, man. All of us as Chiefs fans know exactly the strengths and the weaknesses of all of these players. In fact, at some point, I was even calling for Lilepo to come into the 10 because he was the only composed passer on the pitch. I've said before that the tough thing about Chiefs is that if Sirino's not there and Cele, who had a great game last time, is not there, we don't have a brain. So when you don't have a brain on the pitch, you have to put people into positions to get goals no matter, play the ball through for Abu to Pries. Play the ball through for Abu Lilepo. Play the ball through at pace, especially when you see that Magesi ilahlile. Unnecessary pressure that we put ourselves under. It can't be that every game is going to be a lucky packet game. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Maybe somebody's going to chase the ball the right way today. Maybe somebody's going to do this the right way today. Today you could win 1-0 versus Magesi, but you could lose 4-1 to Supersport. And there's no growing, there's no adapting, there's no changing, there's no tactical changes, there's no fixing of problems. I say this often, I'm going to say it again. The difference between the good and great teams, you look at our Sundowns, they look at these things and they come back the next day and they figure out, okay, strong la. How do we change the team so that that one can be strong and this one's strength can cover this one, and we can do this and we can do this and we can do that. If Magesi decided to go low block in the second half, it's a 0-0 game. If Magesi came into this game a lot more energetic, if you still had Abu Chirambadare, Abu Wonder Boy, you would have seen a different game here. So I think it's a win. It's a 3 points. 3 points is deposited. It's always good to get 3 points. But I watched the games and I'm like, Mara, Coach Nabi, can you please coach, man? Coach Nabi, you've got some great players here that you could use properly. But you choose not to. And it kills the morale of the players, I think, when you're doing things wrong all the time. Think about Mfundo today. Mfundo is going to come off that pitch and maybe be disheartened that he finally got a start and just couldn't put a foot right because he's in the wrong position. They don't play. They don't play. Not to mention what it does to the fans. There were people calling for Nabi's head in my life. So I think at this point, just get as many points as you can. Just stack the points, win the games, however you want to win it. Forget about the ideals about attractive football and all of that stuff for now. Win the games, preseason, transfer window, do what you need to do. Because if you're winning, you wouldn't have to tell us about all the offers you got and how you're not doing this for the money and this and that and cooking and asking people for time. And you wouldn't have to do all of that if you were winning. So go out and win the games. We'll see the rest later. Don't kill these players. We play Mart every day. Mart a trend. Every day Mart a complaining because he's just out of position. 3 points for Kaizer Chiefs. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, bro.